Whew, 112 degrees. It's not outside, that's just in the car.
No, it's outside.
It's not 112 degrees outside.
That's what it is. It doesn't measure the temperature in here.
I'm gonna pull the temperature on my phone.
It's 97.
96 degrees, it's not that hot outside. It's blistering hot, it is so hot. And when it gets really hot, it's Sunday, we aren't really going anywhere today, so we thought we would just go for a car drive and enjoy the nice cool breeze from the AC.
Air conditioning.
So if you've been following along and watching some of our last videos, you will see that Landon and I have been looking at houses, and we looked at one house so far, and it was a no-go. But one thing that we do like to do together is just drive around neighborhoods and look at houses and see what we like and don't like about houses. But we have been house hunting lately, and it has been a lot of fun.
A lot of work too.
No, it definitely is a lot of work, but it's been fun. But I just love driving around neighborhoods and seeing, yes, I like that, no, I don't like that. There's something about brick homes that I will always love. Was that for sale? Yeah, that was for sale. Look at these like little brick houses. Like this entire neighborhood is just full of these like little, like probably 1950s, just like brick homes. And they will always be timeless. And then you come to the 2020s white houses. Question for you, is that a fad? Is that going to be one of those things that goes out of style where it's like super pretty, everyone loves big pretty white houses, and then in a few years they're just gonna be out of style? I don't know.
I don't think so. Like,
they're
you
pretty.
Think about like the colonial times in the US, like those are all, like they did a lot of white back then. I think that's fairly timeless if it's done right.
I can see how it is a huge like trend right now though.
Sure.
Okay, definitely no go on the split level entry. There's something about the split level entry homes. I don't want to see that. That's really close, guys. Something about a split level entry home. I just don't think I would love living in one of them. I have to take your potty, we'll come back. You said potty.
We came all the way home, yeah.
We didn't make it too far.
So as we're driving around, one of the things that I like to look for when we're just kind of browsing at houses is the yard. To me, that's like the first telltale sign of whether or not a house is taken care of. Now, I get it, there's people who take really good care of their houses and not so much, they're not green thumbs. They don't take as good a care of their yard as I would. And I don't mind, and I don't think Julie does either. We don't mind getting into a home with a little bit of yard work to do to kind of get it spruced up and ready to go. That's fun for me. I grew up landscaping. I grew up on a sod farm. So that stuff is easy for me, and it can really raise the curb appeal of a home by doing a few things around the yard at first. But just at an initial glance, to me, if I'm looking at a yard and I see something that's just like, you can just tell it's not taken care of, that to me says, well, they don't care for their yard, so how much do they care for the inside? And it might be a good clue for us to kind of keep an eye out. So one of the things we look for as we're kind of looking at houses is to say, hey, how good are they taking care of things on the outside? Thank you. This might be the only thing that gets us through the day.
The whole summer.
Otter pops. It is so dang hot. You guys want to keep driving around?
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna try and blow bubbles out.
Yeah, I can see the bubbles behind us.
Really?
Yeah. Bubbles for everyone.
If I'm being 100% honest, and I think I can speak for Landon because we've talked about this before, we personally don't want to live in a huge, ginormous house. Like, they're pretty, don't get me wrong, like they're pretty, but like there's just something about being in a huge house that we just don't love.
No, I'd rather spend my money on property.
Like these houses here, they're pretty, but their yards are really, really, really small. Like they just sit right next to each other and you can see into each other's bathrooms, like each other's windows. You just sit so close to each other. Okay, so we've been talking to our realtor and he wanted us to give him a list of things that we want and didn't want. He wanted us to answer a whole bunch of questions so that he could start looking for houses and send them our way to look at. And I was going to wait through the weekend so that Landon could finish up his project with school and then get it to him so that we weren't distracted. Well, I got looking on the Utah Classifieds homepage listings, and lo and behold, right there in front of me was this beautiful little house that was posted probably like 3 hours earlier. So I texted Landon.
Yeah, she sent me a picture.
No, I messaged the guy first. I messaged him and was
before you texted me.
Yeah, I hurried and messaged him. I was like, I want to come see you. I want to come see your house really quick. And then I messaged Landon and was like, Landon, look how cute this house is.
I was like, oh yeah, you know, it's cool. You know, we're not really in the market for a house.
No, you said, let's go look at it. That's what you said.
That?
Yes, you said, let's go look at it.
We're gonna have to look back at those texts.
So the next day we went to tour our second house ever. Like, granted, like we're just barely getting into the market of looking at houses. Second house ever we went to look at. So I have had a lot of sleepless nights before, but there was nothing like the night before we went to tour this house. The only thing that I could think about all night were all the images of the home listing, like of the house before we went to see it. That's all I could think about. I was already imagining like where I was gonna put my couch and my piano, and I could see my furniture inside this house. Landon couldn't sleep either. We just laid next to each other, and you can tell when like someone's not sleeping and when they are. And we just laid there literally all night and just didn't sleep. Didn't talk, but neither of us slept. It was probably the worst night's sleep ever, but I was just dreaming all night of like not dreaming sleeping, like I was like thinking in my head.
So is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, so then the next day we got up to go toward this house, and I was so giddy to like go look at it because I had been thinking about it all night. And what did you think of it initially?
In our initial walkthrough of the house?
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. There's some things that we change and update, but...
Oh, definitely. At first I was like, okay, the carpet's really old. The paint is super old and like dark brown everywhere. There was a lot of things that I was just like, I'm not quite so sure about that. But the layout was okay if we took down one wall. So like, I mean, there was definitely pros and cons with this house.
Most of the stuff we saw was
things that we could take care of.
Cosmetic stuff.
Yes, which is not hard to do, like especially before you move in. Not hard to take care of. Kids, what did you think of that house that we went and looked at?
Love it. I want it.
Really? Because that wasn't her initial reaction.
Oh yeah.
She was sad. She's like, I don't want to move. No, the kids loved it because there was like place to run around. There was enough bedrooms and bathrooms, and well, did we put an offer on it, Landon?
We put an offer on the house.
We put an offer on the house, and we told the guy that he had till 10 o'clock that night to accept, and guess what? By 10 p.m.
He accepted our offer.
He accepted our offer,
Now,
guys.
I'm new to the whole buying a house thing, so I thought, oh, you put an offer, they accepted, that's a done deal. But
No.
we have a period of time here that we're in right now to have the house inspected and look things over.
Stay tuned because we're gonna do the inspection and see what comes back, what needs to be fixed on the house before we completely like solidify everything. So it is still up in the air, but we are under contract, as they say.
That is nuts.
We're under contract, you guys. If I start talking, are you going to lose count? We're making dinner, and my sister Ruby, when she would make bread and she had to count the cups of flour, it was like 1, 2, and if anyone talked or said a word, she was like, I have to start over, and she'd throw all the flour back in the bucket and start over counting so that she could keep track on how many cups of flour she had. So don't lose track,
The nice thing about eggs is I can count how many yolks I see, so that's not too bad.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We are making German pancakes. It is one of our family's favorite things to eat for dinner. So back to the house thing. When we went to go toward the house, we did not film out of privacy of the owners because they are still living there. They still have their stuff out, so we didn't film anything. But one of the first things that was different from the first home tour is the actual tour itself. So we showed up, and instead of being really rushed and having tons of people around, I thought we were going to like walk through the house in like 20 minutes. We were there for a full hour, and we didn't have to like wait on anyone. No one was waiting on us. So we really got to know the owners. We saw them personally and were able to visit with them. And Landon even like flat out said, he's like, you know, when we're looking for a house, we want to find something that we can tell that the owners took care of and loved it, because that's what we're gonna do. When we move into a house, we'll take care of it and we love it. And so I guess we were trying to woo him.
We're trying to win him over.
Win him over. Which, I mean, it worked. He accepted our offer. Okay, so there were a lot of things about this house that we loved, and that was the fact that all like the water softener, the water heater, the AC, the furnace, attic insulation, windows, all that kind of stuff was new within the last 5 years. And all that internal stuff that you can't physically like see with your eyes or know unless they tell you is huge, because we don't want to get into a house that is like a complete fixer-upper or that's so old and nothing has been updated that we have to like go and do all those things. But to have all of that kind of stuff done with and like fixed and new, well, that was almost like a game changer for us, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. We didn't want to get into a home, spend all the money on a home, which is already expensive, and then spend more money just to make it livable and whatever. So
paying for carpet and paint is fun because that like changes the look of the house and the feel of the house. So I think overall we're super excited. There's a part of me that's like, oh crap, what did we get ourselves into? Like, it's kind of a big deal to just like purchase a house.
It's intimidating.
Yeah, like there's a lot to know, a lot to do, more responsibility will come with this. But I think all in all, we're ready, we're excited. It'll be good for us. Right, it'll be a growing opportunity. All right, guys, it is time for you guys to hit the subscribe button. Follow along with us as we purchase this house, or hopefully to see if it goes through, do the inspection and all of that. So we're super excited, and we will see you guys in the next video.